What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another one. This one is from Put a Ring on It. Okay, the saga continues. I'm not going to hold you. Let's go in.
I'm just asking for a feeling. I just want to know the feeling. Because don't that make you feel something?
I mean, I would feel something if he felt something.
Right. We want to feel, right? We are human beings. Like this dude, he got in and he smelled her scent. You didn't feel nothing with that.
Okay,
It was cool.
so I definitely was concerned. I guess a little bit of hate because somebody is like doing this, but I'm learning at the same time. So to me, that's not really.
But I don't want you to take away from your heart. This process is not supposed to take away from feeling.
I hear you when you say I need to show her that I feel things.
I know she wants to see how you feel. She wants you to let her know. And it always happens on the inside of you. And she doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all my pushing is, okay?
That's my main mission in this thing, to get better. Some men don't know how to express themselves. I'm here now because I'm trying to get better at expressing myself. I've been built not to let certain things bother me.
Yeah, it's like, look, ladies, sometimes you got to give men a little bit of grace because our brains are just not built like y'all's. It's just not. It's we have two different hemispheres, all right, and the synapses is not wired the same way as women. Women, y'all whole joint is connected, right? With men, we have the left and the right hemisphere, and it looked like in Ricky's case, them joints is not connecting at all. They're not communicating. Some men just don't know how to express their feelings, emotions, and they don't know what to do with that, especially in high tense situations, emotional situations. A lot of guys just don't know how to maneuver, and it will take a special woman to deal with a guy like that. Probably someone who is not so pretty much someone who is very secure with themselves and doesn't need a man's emotional I guess you could say support to ensure them, to comfort them, things like that, because they don't have the capability of doing that. And it's not even their fault. I mean, you can't really expect men to act and behave like women. You really can't. But at the same time, I'm just going to need Ricky to step it up a little bit. All right? Anyway, let's go in.
Just me trying to protect my feelings.
All right, so, Catherine, will Marcus be getting a third date?
Marcus will be getting a third date.
Okay. Girl, you didn't hesitate 1 second. I wasn't expecting to tell me about that.
Yeah, we have so many things that's aligned, so I definitely want to see if that last piece of chemistry is something that's not just based off aesthetics.
Okay. Ricky, what about you? Would you like to give Sheila a fourth date?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass this time. It's more of a friendship at this point. I think I learned enough from her, and so I don't really see nothing moving forward, so I'm gonna just chill out.
Okay. Next up, Joy and Jasha. You both went on second dates this week in the same room. Talk to me about your dates with Brittany and Jacoby.
Brittany, she was really flirty.
Yeah, Brittany was flirty. This video is gonna be a little choppy on me, but Brittany was very flirty, very hands-on, so to speak. Doing a lot of twerking, doing a lot of this, that, and the third. I said me and Jasha were similar in how we move a little bit. I wouldn't have never been interested in Brittany if it was me. I just think that she don't got enough of a lot of stuff, and she got too much of some stuff. Okay, so I don't know. She just didn't really seem like a classy lady. I like classy women, like Joya. Okay, that's just how I roll. I like if you like Joya and love Joya, how could you even fall for somebody like Brittany, unless he was starving for some kind of attention or something? I don't know, but I never understood what he's seen in Brittany. I would have moved on from her a long time ago. She just wasn't that chick to me. But he entertained her for a good while. I don't know if he entertained her because he knew he wasn't interested, but she was fun to kick it with. I don't know if he's playing those type of games, but let's just see what he had to say.
One of the most, like, asking me to help her, and while I was stretching Brittany,
Okay.
she did like a little twerk move, like, right, because I was standing behind her, and she got up and was like twerking a little bit. I didn't catch it, but
This is when me and Kobe come in and then he got his hands on her hips. I'm like, okay, that's cute. He didn't make her do that, but I just felt uncomfortable with the whole situation, period. Like, I just wouldn't do that.
Joya, I can tell you're annoyed by this. Jaysha, I can tell you don't like that she's annoyed by this. I know it's hard, but we gotta remember the process.
exactly.
Of course, I still need your truth, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Right, okay? So, Jaysha, would you like to take me on a third date?
Let's see what he say, but if it was me, I wouldn't have took her on a second date. Okay, I would have just been like, you know what, Brittany, you cool and all, but next. And maybe I wasn't physically attracted to her. Maybe I wasn't intellectually attracted to her mentally. I wasn't, she just seemed kind of childish, petty. But that's me. I'm not Jaysha. I wasn't dating her. It wasn't my choice, but not a bad person. You know what I mean? But I could see how she can get annoying real quick. I mean, she was pulling on his beard and twerking and talking greasy to Joya. It's like, why even entertain this chick, man? I mean, that's how I felt.
She's a cool person. She's pretty. She's got some things going on for herself that I admire. But it's almost felt like she's putting on or trying to do like a competition. But I didn't like it because it's like, yo, I'm here, let's talk, but you ain't got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get my attention. So I'm going to have to pass. I'm going to really try somebody new.
Okay. Joya, how do you feel about his decision?
I'm happy. I feel like maybe if she had handled herself a little bit differently on that date, he may have thought about giving her a third date, but Jaysha doesn't like when women do that.
Okay. Joya, you went on a second date with Jacoby, right? Okay.
Yes.
Will he be getting a third date?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
No hesitation.
The level of maturity was just not there. It was like, oh, I'm a high value man and I don't need to date a woman with kids. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
That's how you feel about yourself. More power to you. But you can't put every woman with a child in the same box and say that we're of a lower value or standard.
Yes.
And I felt like by him saying that, he canceled himself out.
Good for you. All right. Let's.
Now, let me say this. Listen, I don't necessarily agree with Joya that it's a level of maturity. It's just a preference. Everybody got a preference, okay? You can't knock his preference. He can't knock your preference. You want to get married. You want to have kids. That's your preference. You entitled to that. He wants a woman who don't have kids. I told y'all, he looked at himself as a high value man before this even came out. I told y'all that in a few episodes ago. The dude looked at himself as a high value man. He was not a Jaysha replacement. Go check the tape. Okay. But I don't think it's fair to say that he's not mature. I just think that's her way of justifying being rejected. You know what I mean? Sometimes, people come up with excuses as to why they're being rejected, and women really don't like to be rejected. So they'll come up with a title. Oh, he's insecure. He's immature. He's this, that, and the third. They'll put a title or a label on the situation to make them feel better. I don't think it has anything to do with maturity. It's just that he has his preference and you have yours. Everybody's entitled to their preference. So, if I'm being honest, it's a little immature to say it's about maturity, because you're putting a label on them. Oh, it's a little immature. That's a bit of a label. So that's a little immature. But to justify being rejected, you have to put a label on it. Anyway, let's go back in.
Move on to Zay and Jasmine. Both of you went on dates with someone new.
Yeah.
Zay, tell me about your date. Oh, wow.
I know, it's deep breath.
Yeah,
Tell them about your date.
it was real awkward.
Okay.
I was like, hey, no disrespect to my woman, you pretty too.
Okay.
I don't understand with Zay. You were very attracted to Naya. You thought she was pretty, and you even sort of dished your own girl in front of her, but it seemed like you wasn't feeling her. Like, I don't know. I know it's not all in looks. I get it. Naya was more my speed. I would have rocked out with her. She was a cool and bit of a classy chick, but you were very attracted to her. You dished your own girl for her. Well, let's see how it turned out. Let's see if you'll go on another date with her.
You really sat here and compared me to somebody that's in my house and did it in front of me? He wouldn't take his eyes off of her.
You did exist, and you're wrong.
Her perspective is her reality, so we gotta really allow her that moment, because that is how she perceived your behavior with her. But the thing about it is, you were being honest. There was something deeper going on. Tell me about that, because that's why we're here.
It's just sometimes he makes me feel as if he's missing out on something by being with me. Deep down, I do feel like he wished he had that opportunity to be where he's at today, but single.
Dang, I don't want you feeling like that was wrong. Not putting nobody on no scale is better than you. Stop. If I would have knew you like that, I would have just said, hey, yeah, next day, right then and there. After hearing Jasmine say this stuff, I definitely realized that I got to step up, because she shouldn't be feeling like I'm missing out on anything. Clearly, Jasmine's my woman. That's my queen. I'm tired of making mistakes.
It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay not to be perfect. It's not okay when you just don't admit that we were wrong. That's it. All right? Okay. Jasmine, you're dating Sean. Will he get another date?
Sean was a great guy, great conversation, but I like intellect with a little bit of street. You gotta.
What is it with this street, ladies? A lot of sisters love the street in guys. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it, but it's that this is another example of nice guys finishing last. Okay, I don't think she's gonna take another date with Sean. He's a nice guy. He's a cool guy. Some women might say corny guy. Might say little poindexterous, a little like Zay said, look like he should be selling insurance or whatever. What is it? I just want to know what the street appeal is. If ladies, if you could put that in the comments, let me know. Ain't nothing wrong with having street knowledge, street wisdom, but women like a little street, in a man. Maybe it's to maneuver in the neighborhood, or it's to maneuver in the community. If you got a little street protection, maybe you feel like, I don't know. Put it in the comments. What is the appeal of being a little hood in guys? Why would for ladies who would choose Zay over Sean, tell me, why would you choose Zay over Sean? I'd be interested to know. You be teaching me something. Let's go in.
Have that combination to kind of handle me. So I'll pass.
All right, Zay. You went on a date with Naya. Will she be getting a second date?
Nah.
Why?
Kind of like didn't hit it off. It was just enough to have a good conversation, but not to the point where I feel like we connected in no type of way.
Okay. Jasmine, how do you feel about his decision?
I feel really good
Okay.
about that because I was nervous.
I love your honesty. Good stuff, Zay and Jasmine. All right. I think it's clear that this week's assignment was tough.
Very.
Very.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
Remember, you can only control your own actions, not your partner's. And by giving them trust and freedom, they'll likely show you their true selves. So let's recap the dates for this upcoming week, okay? Joya, you'll be going out with someone new. But Jaisha, I want you to take this week off to self-reflect, okay? Jasmine, you'll also take some time for yourself this week, while Zay is set up on a new date. So Catherine, you have a third date with Marcus. And Ricky, you'll be seeing someone new. But I got something to tell y'all. I'm gonna be your date this week.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where we going?
I'm coming over to the house to talk to each of you one-on-one.
Okay.
So don't worry. You will have your dates with Marcus and then your new Ricky. But that'll be coming up in the new week, okay?
Okay.
Now on to this week's assignment. Family dynamics. The relationships we have with our family have a huge impact on us, from when we're children all the way up to being so. This week, I'd like for y'all to meet with some of your closest family members. I want you to discuss how family relationships have an effect on how you relate to your partner. Okay, y'all. I can't wait to hear how it goes. As always, love it.
The family dynamic is so important in both of us because we live with Ricky's family and there are family issues I'm still dealing with from my past. So hopefully we can walk away with another win with this assignment.
Zay and Jasmine are hilarious to me. When she said that they had a 1 drink minimum and he said he had 2 drinks.
Like, what's the 2 drink minimum? Was that?
It doesn't matter. That's their boundary.
Right.
If that's what they came up with. And then it made me feel like, shoot, maybe I should have gave your ass some boundaries with Brittany. The thing is, I didn't set any boundaries, but how I felt about it was a little bit of disrespect. I gave him opportunity to use common sense, but I didn't like seeing her down like that and seeing your hands on her thighs.
I can't control it. I mean, she was doing the most, but I didn't appreciate that. I felt that was like, okay, you're doing too much right now.
You can't control her twerking.
I know it, and that's right. You can't.
What you can control is how you interact with her.
I know what my intentions were.
Your intentions were to go in there and act like you were her personal trainer and not her date.
I mean, that's what we asked to do that. Like,
No, go to the gym and work out with this girl. No, you put on your personal trainer hat and said, oh, I'm going to act like I'm just her personal trainer, even though she flipping over and showing you her butt. I don't even know how to process all of this. I have been waiting for Jaisha to step it up in our relationship. So seeing them be so physical, I'm feeling down and just uncomfortable and sad and frustrated and angry. There's no balance right now. We are not in our good space.
oh my
And
God,
all
you
this
taking
other
it.
stuff.
You taking
Whatever.
it.
Whatever.
I mean, you taking it. That's how you want to take it.
That's
That's
exactly
fine.
how I take it. But
Okay.
it's, I mean, all
that's
I'm
not
saying-
reality, though.
Okay,
You're supposed to trust me and know what my intentions are.
whatever.
Now, Joya is really, really tight because things didn't work out with Jacoby. So she's feeling really tight, especially walking in, Jacoby being what he was. And which I don't knock Jacoby. I knew the type of dude he was soon as he walked on the set. So I already knew. I knew how this was going to end. I'm not surprised at none of this. But as far as Jaisha, I don't really see any unforgivable fouls that he did, or I didn't see really anything he did that was too bad. I think Joya is kind of tight about it because, she don't have the Jacoby scenario to kind of lean on. She's feeling a little vulnerable right now. Like, this guy over here don't want me and this guy over here don't want me. So she's feeling a little tight, a little insecure. I get it. I totally get it. But I don't think she's being fair to Jaysha. And it looks like he didn't even take another date with her. So at the end of the day, the car ride home shouldn't even ended up in the fight because he didn't even take another date with her. He pretty much canceled her. So that should have eliminated any insecurities in Joya. In my opinion, I don't think she was really being fair with Jaysha on that. But let's go back in.
I'm super excited because I invited my mom and my baby brother Devontae over. These are people that I normally would talk to on a day-to-day. So just being able to bring them up to speed, let them know how this process is going. I can't wait. I wanted to talk to y'all about the experience that me and Zay are going through right now with Stacey. She's like a relationship therapist.
Yeah, y'all need that.
Huh? Oh my God. Don't do that because her methods are different.
I wonder if her mother laughed like her.
She had us going out on dates with other people.
Zay is more open and out there. When you have a good time with your friends, but when Zay is there, you can't have a good time because you be focusing on what Zay doing. True, not true.
It's more so when he's out and about, I have no control over that situation.
Jasmine taking me as the pretty neighborhood girl who loves the thug dude. She gives me that energy. She's like one of, in every hood, I used to be in the hood, in every hood, there's this one little petite little, girl who's very popular and very, popular with the girls, popular with the boys. And, she talks a lot and she's a cheerleader in high school. And she is in love with the thug dude, the hood dude in the neighborhood. Jasmine take me as that type of girl, that girl that sits on the block. She in the same hood, but she's petite and pretty and, a daddy's girl, so to speak. But she goes for the thug dude, the dude that's running the streets and stuff like that. She just kind of take me as that type of chick. Anyway, let's go back in.
But you not only control Zay, you control the whole family. All of us have a role in the family, and that's your role.
What?
Controlling. That might be something you need to work on to stop trying to control everybody.
When my mom said I control the whole family, that's laughable. I have a family full of controlling women, including her as the head controller. I do give my opinions, but I don't think she's 100% accurate on that analogy. Turn him around or something.
See the control thing right here?
No, but dang, which doesn't sound like a tambourine at the church.
So are you ready to be married?
Yes. I'm tired of being played with like a toy, like the promise ring. That was embarrassing for me. That was embarrassing.
It was a nice ring.
It was a nice ring. But you gotta let him take his steps.
That was like
No, that step to you might not have been a big thing.
Deal.
But to him, it might have been a huge thing.
You know what? I have to trust the process. Because at the end of the day, we have an option. He either puts the ring on it or we go our separate ways.
I think that your insecurity, you should ease up and give him some room.
I'm just big on action. And that goes back to even with Zayd's, he's the one that brought up the engagement and he still hasn't proposed. So I'm like, okay, well, did you want me to plan the place? You want me to go find the ring? Do you need help? So yeah, I don't know. Control is something I'm still working on.
You gotta recognize you're valuable. If Zay walk away from that, he's the fool. He just needs a little bit more time.
Yeah.
You know, let me say this. I like the concept of the show, Put a Ring on It. I really do. But I don't necessarily like the concept of ultimatums, especially when it comes to marriage. Like, you giving me an ultimatum of the biggest decision in my life, marriage, and you want to pressure me, marry me, or we go our separate ways. I kind of get it, and I kind of don't. And here's why I don't. My whole thing is this. Why do you want marriage? Is it for you? Is it for me? Is it for us? Why do you want marriage? This should be something that we both want to do. It should be something we both want to do. You make it, when I hear an ultimatum, I'm thinking that you are really only thinking of yourself. And you are really only concerned about what pleases you. You're not taking into consideration what pleases me. A marriage ultimatum is like saying, look, I need to check this off of my box, off of my, bucket list box, and say that I've been married before. Now, I could do it with you, or I could do it with Tom, Dick, or Harry, because they all checking for me too. What you want to do? I'll give you the first at bat. I'll give you the first at bat. You take your swings first, but if it's not you, it's gonna be somebody else. To me, that's saying you're not in love with me. You in love with the idea of being a wife. You in love with the idea of marriage. You may even just be in love with the wedding itself. You don't want to do the work after the wedding, which is the important part. That's what I'm thinking about. That's why I'm a little hesitant. So I'm thinking of all of these things, and that's why I need some more time. But you want to give me an ultimatum, and ultimately what you're saying is my goal is to be married. Now, on the other side of that, I can kind of understand the woman's perspective, because women are on the clock. Women are on the clock as far as producing kids, as far as their looks that fade after a while. Women are on the clock. So I can kind of understand wanting to bag your man, and get married before, the well runs dry, so to speak. But there is a balance, though. There has to be a balance. I always feel like both parties should make it so that the other think they're a fool for not marrying them. Like me, I want to make it so that my next wife will feel like a fool for not marrying me. And I want my next wife to make me feel like I'm a fool for not marrying her. If I don't feel like I'm a fool for not marrying you, it's not going to motivate me to marry you. I need to feel like a fool for not doing that. You need to show me the value of that up front. I just don't like the idea of ultimatums. I just don't like the idea of ultimatums because it applies pressure, and it's understandable from a woman's perspective that you need somebody who's going to do that. But what is the ultimate goal? Is the ultimate goal to check off the marriage box, or is the ultimate goal to be together? Because you could be together with somebody for a long time. I know people who are together for 40 years, never got married, but been together for 40 plus years. Probably even longer than that, 40 plus years, never been married, but been together. They pretty much common law, but they're still together. No ultimatums was given on the other party, and they live happily ever after. Why do you need the government to intervene on your love? And I guess what I'm saying is your love for one another should take priority over everything else. Everything else is a business transaction. And that tells, if I have that ultimatum, I'm thinking negative thoughts. I'm thinking that you're into this for some kind of business reason instead of for the love of me. Anyway, let's go back in.
So tell me, how was y'all's flights on this surprise visit?
Was it a good surprise?
It was a good surprise for you, Granny. No, they were meeting with my grandmother and my father. My father and my mother ended up getting pregnant with me when they were in high school, and Dad ended up leaving and going to the military. So I didn't really meet him until I was 14. Come down to Atlanta. You know, I've been missing you so much.
Yeah, I was like, okay, she's something to cry.
I've been crying so much, Granny, because this process has been so challenging.
What made you want to do all of this?
Well, me and Ricky, obviously, you know, with me committing to moving to Atlanta a lot earlier than I expected or really wanted to. And so a part of his commitment was making sure that we were taking steps to get married. It's really, really therapeutic because I do feel a healing inside of me as far as not holding him accountable for a lot of the past stuff that I did deal with in relationships or in my upbringing, you know, with learned behavior.
And especially when you think of the example of relationships that you've seen, I mean, it's kind of one of those things you're like, okay, this is what I know.
And that's kind of one of the things I guess I would need to talk to you about, like as far as like, and me and your relationship affecting my relationship with Ricky, because the dynamics of meeting you when I was 14. You are my mom. You never really put me in a space of feeling like a child. And that hurt me in a lot of ways because even in my relationship, it's hard for me to ask for stuff.
Right.
Like, and then feel like I'm not putting too much or asking for too much, you know? So
Exactly. I totally get it, and that's why I've always said to you, you tell me what we can do and what we need to do.
when women grow up without their fathers, it does impact how they are in their relationships with men, especially great men like Ricky. And so in my healing with my dad, I think that meeting him at 14 created a lot of daddy issues that goes to me trusting Ricky.
So, obviously.
All right. Okay, y'all. Short story. Okay, and this is very personal. So I'm gonna need you to hit the like button for this because I'm gonna get personal with you. I have a daughter that I did not meet until she was 16. Okay. It was out of my control. I did not know. It was a bundle of a mess because there were situations where it was suspected that another guy was the father. Turns out he wasn't the father. I was the father. I did not know I was the father until it turned out that he did a blood test and he wasn't the father. Well, then there's a search for who the father is, and it was me. And I did not meet my daughter until she was 16. Well, let me take that back. I met her. I've seen her. I was always a part of her life. Let me get that clear. because she was in my view. Okay, let's just put it that way. She was in my view. She spent time with me, but I did not know she was my daughter. It's kind of a weird scenario. I would have to know you to really get too personal with it. But what I'm saying is, I noticed how my not being in her life for the first 16 years affected her. Okay? It affected her in so many ways that it's probably irreversible. Okay? It probably, look, Catherine seems as though she had practically the identical upbringing as my daughter did. Kind of at odds with her mother and did not know her father. So I can kind of relate to Catherine from a second person point of view. Not first person, because I'm not her or I'm not my daughter. But from the father's standpoint, the second person point of view, I can understand where Catherine is. And I can tell you that this affects especially young girls very much. It affects their self-esteem. It affects how they approach relationships. They could become very attached to their boyfriends, to the point where the boyfriends can, even if other people see that they're not being valued by their boyfriend, they still cling on to these guys who are practically doing nothing for them. It really affects their self-esteem. Okay. So I feel for Catherine on this. I know how it affects her not knowing her father till she was 14. And I know how, especially if she doesn't have a mother who was very nurturing. You almost kind of feel like you have to raise yourself. You almost feel like you have to, get it out the dirt by any means necessary. And when you find someone who you connect to, like a boyfriend, you adopt him as not a boyfriend, but you adopt him as family. So you try to create the family that you never had. You didn't get that family from your father. You didn't get that family from your mother. So your boyfriend, you become very clingy to your boyfriends. And that's what seemed to be what's happening with Catherine. So, obviously, me and my daughter caught up. Once I found out she was mine, she came to live with me, so forth and so on. And we've been working on our relationship ever since then. So I know how hard this is for her, and I know the struggle. And again, I'm not even sure that this is repairable because so much time has gone by. You miss critical years in those early years of development. And in those early years of development, they've taught themselves stuff that it's hard to overcome. It's hard to get them out of that unless they have substantial counseling, therapy for that. So it's an uphill battle for Catherine, but I'm pulling for her. I'm glad she got to know her father. I'm glad her father is there standing 10 toes down. Like I was. Like I said, my daughter, as soon as I found out, she came to live with me. It was a wrap. But this may be a lifetime journey of trying to unlearn some of the stuff and relearn some new things. And it really gets highlighted when they're in relationships with other guys. It really gets highlighted. All of the things that are going on in their head. You know, and being in relationships can be very tumultuous. You know, and honestly, not just for her, but for her dude. Because he has to deal with the trauma that she has. And if he's traumatic, it's a freaking mess. Okay. It's no wonder they're on this show. Anyway, let's go in.
Obviously that there's the other side of you, you know, like your mom's side, and how does it all play into your relationship with Ricky in this process?
Obviously, Ricky doesn't like when Ernestine shows up. My mom is Ernestine, and she is a character because she just does inappropriate things, in my opinion. But Ernestine hasn't showed up too many times. I just feel like because my mom was a teen mom, like she just never grasped the concept of motherhood. She just doesn't know how to give that motherly quality. And that's always created a strain from my relationship with her. It's like, my mama make me feel so many different type of ways.
Right. But you have to get that place to where you're okay with her being who she is.
Right.
Because you can't continue to grow and be good for your relationship if you start bringing stuff with your mom.
You didn't have us both.
Yeah.
But I know that if you don't deal with it, it'll come back.
Right.
And it's not fair to Ricky, because he'll have to deal with that.
Yeah, man. This is kind of heavy for me because I like I said, I know how this is second person, and just, you know, again, Catherine sounds a lot like she had the same experience as one of my daughters, and it could be rough. It could be freaking rough, and I'm talking about for everybody involved. You know, her mother was, you know, not too much different than Catherine's. You know, she knew me, but she didn't know I was her father until she was 16. You know, Catherine is going through that, and Catherine is, you know, having issues with her mother. She didn't know her father till she was 14. And it could be rough on the mother. It could be rough on the father. Trust me, I know. It could be rough on the boyfriend. And it damn sure can be rough on the girl. Everybody that's involved will be affected by how this scenario went down, because that young lady is going to carry those emotions with her into every relationship scenario that she's in. And it's going to affect her personality too. So yeah, that one, that scene and that scenario kind of gets to me because I can kind of relate to it directly. But anyway, let's go back in.
Keep your head up on your downtime. Will the beat come great? Sometimes it's hard to find.
Yeah, I was reading the scripture. all about patience. So I'm excited. I'm ready for Dr. Stacy.
Dr. Stacy coming to the house for the first time.
I was like, we in trouble. Like, why are we doing a one-on-one?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm trying to mentally prepare myself. Maybe she sees something we don't see, so she want to talk to us about it.
I think every day is a journey. You know, I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about my traumas. In that learning, I'm definitely trying to make sure that I'm applying the right tools, you know, that Dr. Stacy is giving us.
So how y'all doing?
We're good, but we are nervous because we're not sure. Like the way.
Let me say this. I really like Catherine, man. Really like this young lady. By the way, Dr. Stacy can get it. But anyway, I really like Catherine. I really like the effort that she's putting into this whole process. I mean, she seems to be diving headfirst into this, and she is giving 1,000%. I think she's going to be okay because she's dedicated to becoming a better person, woman, wife, and you know, just overall human being. Shout out to Catherine, man. I had to say that. Let's go back in.
When you ended our session and told us that you were going to be coming by, like you didn't let us know if we was doing good or we was in trouble. So
for me, it's not about doing good or bad. It's just honestly working through the stuff. And I have to say, Catherine, one of the sessions, you blew up on Ricky.
Yes.
And that was really what prompted me to come here today because I'd never seen that side of you.
There is times where I feel like I don't get a chance to miss her.
Like, you only tried to go one place without me. Like, Ricky already know. Yeah, but I don't like the narrative.
Just listen.
No, I'm not about to listen when you about to lie. In this area, and then you sit here and say, well, she won't give me that type of space. Like, I don't like that. That's about to piss me off. That's bull. And for you to sit here and lie, that's crazy to me.
I'll get that Catherine smoke.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call you Smokey because their smoke on Ricky is strong. And I really was like, whoa.
Smokey is just not a good person because she doesn't care what she say as long as she feels to a degree she won that argument. And I felt like that person was created out of survival mode.
So tell me about that part of your personality.
I think that part of my personality is I learned behavior.
What do you mean? Oh, okay.
Your mom is like that. She's really aggressive. And I think too, my upbringing, I just didn't feel like I was a kid that got to be heard. Smokey definitely exists because she did serve a great purpose in my upbringing as a child, you know, when she definitely protected me. But I'm really trying to be a different woman, you know?
So then Ricky, it seems like Catherine goes from 0 to 100. Is there anything in particular
that triggers it?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, I'm not perfect. I might, you know, get loud with her.
You'll get loud.
I'll get loud. Then it kind of like escalates from there.
Have y'all had any arguments during the process?
When we went to the taco place.
That was during the process.
Okay, yeah, so that was during the process.
Okay.
When he started talking, when we were in the car, I already just kind of knew like it was not going to be good. But he came back saying something, but the way the tone was received, it just felt like it was going to start a real argument, like one of our explosive arguments, because I know I'm not in a space to receive it.
Okay, so here we go. If you know your partner does go from 0 to 100, and then that makes you not be heard because she has blacked out and left the building, and she says, babe, let's table this. That's her saying, help me help us.
I mean, I understand that.
Okay, so if she asks, that means that you're gonna have to then have some emotional regulation and say, you know what, okay, babe, no problem.
When Catherine wants to table a discussion, a lot of times it feels like, you know, she's just done talking to me about it when I feel like I have something to say still. I know how I feel about a lot of different stuff, and it's just a matter of addressing them the way I need to address them.
Is it better, Ricky, if you write them down?
Possibly.
Let's try, because I want you to feel like when you need to say something, you have words to say it. Because I have heard you say, I sometimes just don't know how to say things. Okay? So then maybe while she's getting herself together, you come up with words. And then sometimes just maybe you read it back to her.
And I definitely want to hear him. Like, I want to hear how you feel.
I believe you.
Like, I really mean, like, I don't like hurting you at all, Ricky. Like, you are my best friend. Like, I don't like the stuff that I say to you, and I don't like when we're arguing. Like, I'm really, really serious about making my relationship work with you. So, like, we can't do this way.
I know she's been.
Like I told you, she, you know, when you don't feel like you grow up with parents that support you, you look for a man that will support you, and he becomes your family, and he becomes a little, you know, you become a little too dependent on him, you know. I'm starting to feel like that's how Catherine is because I know a lot of chicks who were, if they were with Ricky, they probably would have left bro a long time ago, to be honest. They wouldn't be putting in the effort that Catherine is putting in right now. She's putting in a hell of an effort, not just for their relationship, but for herself, within herself. Like, this is therapeutic for her too. But a lot of chicks wouldn't be dealing with Ricky. Like on this level, they would have been gone. So that's how you know it's something within her that's trying to make this work, because she's already adopted Ricky as family. You know, she probably felt like she didn't have family with her mother or her father, or, I mean, obviously she feels that they're her family, but often I see that, especially young ladies, when they don't feel like they had that support at a young age, they go into these relationships. Sometimes they're bad relationships just because they are looking for a substitution of a family. And sometimes they'll even get a good for nothing dude, and they'll value him more than they will their biological family, you know? So, yeah, let's go back.
Making a lot of progress with her anger, but I worry that it'll always be there no matter how much work we put in. And sometimes that gives me pause about moving forward.
First of all,
now that is big too. That's another thing. Anger is a big issue, because when you grow up that way, you have a lot of pent up anger, and you will bring that into that relationship. Even though you adopted that guy as being your family and you see it as a cannot fail situation, you have a whole bunch of pent up anger, and you just unleash. And some of the nastiest, some of the most disrespectful crap that you have ever heard will get spewed out of their mouth sometime. So I know that can be hard to maneuver around, and I know Ricky is trying his hardest, and he probably seen her anger a lot of times, and he seemed like a guy who don't even know how to handle that. He don't know how to handle that kind of anger, that kind of insecurities, and emotional turmoil that she's going through. He don't got the tools to deal with that. He don't. He can barely make sense of his own emotions. So he really don't know how to dissect or regulate or even try to understand her emotions. He ain't got the tools for that. Let's go back.
You both have past.
Yes.
There's a reason that when she talks enough that you escalate, and there's a reason why when you hear him, how you hear him, you escalate. So I think we have to be respectful of whatever the paths are and look at something, how we're going to work together.
Grab on tight. My name is Luther. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm fun, witty. I can get along with just about everybody. single because I see relationships as a lifetime goal and I need to make the right decision, so you might say I'm a little picky. So, are you originally from Atlanta?
From upstate New York.
So, did you meet your partner here or?
I did.
Okay. And y'all been together for?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Empty ring finger, and I don't want it to be empty anymore.
Okay. Okay, so
That
pressure's
could-
on.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what are we doing?
Right. Oh, you got the same thing I got?
No way.
You trying to be like me, huh?
No, you want to be like me.
Anything else?
Water,
Please. Waters? Yeah.
Stop it.
Got you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was kind of cool. Luther is very cute, very classy. There is chemistry there, a little bit of connection. He's so easy to talk to. I'm intrigued.
So, travel?
Yes,
Favorite place?
Bali and Jamaica.
That's interesting. I haven't been to Bali, though.
Have you been to Jamaica?
Twice. I like to swim in water. You swim?
I can swim.
I'm a water baby. I'm a water sign as well.
So you're a...
Scorpio. I was waiting for it. It always comes. What's the fear? Go ahead, tell me.
I have heard that Scorpios were very sexual. Is there any truth to that?
I find pleasure in pleasing. So, very sexual, yes, when I'm in the moment.
Elaborate.
I've learned to control the urge, per se, but when it's time, it's a full indulgence.
This is getting kind of deep, kind of juicy. But let's keep going. So, how do you control the urge?
I understand that I give so much during the experience that it will cause attachment. And if I don't have anyone I want to be attached to me, then I just keep to myself.
I'm just gonna keep looking at my phone.
I told you it's a whole experience.
Clearly.
I noticed this about Joya. I don't know if y'all noticed, but she is always the one bringing up the sex questions. She did that with Jacoby too. And now she's doing it with this guy. She is always the one bringing up the sex questions. I wonder, like, you know, I don't think Jaysha would feel a way about that. But that's kind of curious to me. Like, why you are always the one opening that sex door. I know you want to have a kid. I know you want to have another kid. I know you want to make sure that situation is taken care of and you can enjoy that. Trust me, the men want to know that too. But I just find it a little odd that she would do that. That she would always be the one bringing up and taking it there. Like a couple scenes ago, she was just trashing Jaysha in the car about, you know, some chick twerking on him. And then she gets on this date and she asking dude, like, I heard y'all sexual. It's almost, I don't know. It just seems, something just don't seem right about it to me. Like, you can't stand when a chick is twerking on your dude, but you going to other dudes asking them sex questions. He didn't even bring it up. She did. I don't know. I like Joya, obviously, but my whole thing is, you know, don't start doing stuff that you wouldn't feel happy about Jaysha doing. You know, don't be that double standard. Don't do that. You know, I don't really rock with that very much, because I feel like it's, you know, it's one of those situations where you can do stuff. Well, I can do stuff, but you can't. And a lot of times that's how a lot of, I want to say women, because that's all I deal with. that's how they move. I can do stuff, but you can't do what I do. It's that double standard BS. Like women will say, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that because I know that I have control over myself and I'm not going to do this, that, and the third. But I don't know what you're going to do, so you can't do that. It's like that. I just don't like that. Like, if you're going to have such a problem with Jaysha girl, then don't come up to other dudes asking them, about their sexuality and what they like and all this other stuff. It's just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Let's go back.
Is this this yoga harness?
Oh my God. I'm tickled.
You wouldn't be in the yoga harness.
Oh, Luther, you're a bad boy. I need to shut up. I'm familiar with the toy box. But I can't because the conversation is just flowing. Are you into energy? Do you meditate? Do you do any of those things to keep you in that grounded state? What do you do?
I paint. I write poetry.
What are some of the things you paint?
I have a fascination with flamingos.
No. No. That's my favorite bird.
I painted one. The flamingo is the one I freed.
You did this?
That's me.
I love it.
One of my favorite birds and your favorite bird. What is the coincidence?
What are the odds? I'm you're a weirdo like me. This is cool.
Hey, this is a blind date. Did not know what I was getting into, and I'm glad I got into it.
Really? Well, good. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. This date with Luther has been really, really good. I like the level of conversation. Even though it got a little funny, it was still good energy, good chemistry. Luther has been really, really good. I like the level of conversation, even though it got a little funny. It was still good energy, good chemistry, and I really liked it.
Oh, you're definitely pleasant and easy to talk to, and obviously you're pleasant on that. So I wouldn't even say easy, because it's hard.
Stop it. You're making me melt over here.
Okay. Spanish today.
Well, thank you. My name is Kenyatta. I'm 31. I'm from Atlanta, and I am single, ready to mingle. I want a man that's a manly man that makes me feel secure, safe, someone that's nice, but not too nice.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
Well, thank you. You look nice.
Appreciate it. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so from Atlanta, born and raised.
Oh, you from an A?
I'm a real Georgia peach. I'm a flight attendant.
Oh, you travel.
I travel. I'm about that life. I'll be traveling.
I love anything about flying. Kenyatta, she's pretty and all, she had a pretty smile. But upon learning that she was a flight attendant, she really caught my attention. Really want to be a pilot. That's a most definitely bucket list.
Well, you can do that. It's not unattainable.
My biggest thing is communication. It's with my relationship, that was one of my problems with communication. So you have to communicate with the tower a lot.
Yeah.
Once I get my communication skills all the way to the point where I'm not really zoning out from what somebody's saying in my ear,
yeah,
then I feel like I can do it. I wanted to be a pilot for about 10 years now. I've studied a couple books. You ever see one of them movies, the pilot might fall out, and then somebody come out there, hey, anybody here know how to fly a plane? I'll be the first one to raise my hand coming out yeah, I can get us to the ground. I'm yeah, I'm the captain now. Everybody sit down. I got this. You been in some of them crop duster planes before?
I have. When I was young, 10, going to Puerto Rico.
I've never been there.
Where?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, I tell people all the time I'm 30% Puerto Rican. It's not really true, but I feel like that when I go.
I truly believe in my past life, I was white.
Huh?
In my past life, I was white. I love skateboard. I love all kind of different stuff. Stuff that the average black guy wouldn't like. I've been swimming, diving. I listen to country music, rock music. I like treasure hunts, Mystery solving.
You know my thing? Crime shows.
Wow. This day with Kiana, she was fun, adventurous, and she was able to hold a conversation. Holding my attention like that is not easy to do.
So have you enjoyed the date so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very intriguing.
Well, good. I enjoyed it too.
I didn't get this feeling from all my other dates. She gave me a lot to think about.
Drink was good. The conversation was good.
The energy was good.
The energy was good.
Zay just takes me as a guy who needs a woman who talks a lot. He already got that in Jasmine, so he's good with that. But he needs a woman who talks a lot. That's his biggest thing. Probably overlooks. He needs a talker, someone who's going to carry the conversation. The guy really lacks in communication and conversation. It's just his thing. He said he wanted to be a pilot, but he don't know how to communicate to the tower. Yeah, bruh, if you don't know how to communicate to air traffic control, I'm not sure if I want you as my pilot. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to, crap on your dream or nothing. I know everybody got a dream. But I'm going to need you to fly single engine by yourself. Okay? You can still fly. Just don't have other people's lives in your hands, because you need to work on them communication skills. I'm just saying. It's too risky. But he is the type of guy who do need a woman who can communicate. Maybe she can be the co-pilot. That's the thing. He the pilot. He needs his communicating co-pilot. He already got that in Jasmine. Kenyatta, she was all right. She did seem pretty pleasant. She did seem like she was fun to be with. I wasn't as attracted to her as I was with Naya. And I wasn't even attracted to her more than I was with Gayla. But I thought she did have a personality that was more engaging and more up his speed, because she talks a lot, or she at least carries a conversation. The other two ladies didn't really seem to be, one didn't seem interested to carry a conversation, and the other one just, she was into him, but he was so focused on Jasmine that really distracted him from really talking to Naya. So I think that was just a missed opportunity for Zay. But Kenyatta, she was a nice enough chick. Let's go back in.
Today I'm meeting with my sister Taffy, and I chose this family member because she really knows me. She's been with me through the good and the bad. So I'm just excited to see what insight she can share with me.
How have you been?
Oh my God, girl.
A lot has been happening.
Because I haven't had a chance to connect with you.
We haven't talked. So it's like, me and Jaisha, we have a great relationship, but at the same time, it's like, we have a timeline issue. I'm ready for the baby and the marriage and all of that. Like, I'm ready yesterday, and I feel like he's just kind of dragging his feet.
Okay, so he's saying, like, it's not a hard no.
It's not a hard no.
Okay.
It's just, we need to wait a while. I think we're somewhere between, like, 3 to 4 years out for him.
Okay. Well, okay, so listen, you don't want to force somebody to do what you want just because you want it, but you guys gotta find that happy medium where,
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah, so
That's why we're here.
there's a trust the process.
I had a date yesterday with somebody, and I thought that date went really well.
Okay.
Probably my best date so far. We had really good conversation. He was really sweet. He was such a gentleman. And the thing that I liked about him, it was just like, he had so much in common with Jaysha, and it was nice to see that there are other men out there that have the same great qualities that my man has, because I'm just like at this place in my life where I'm ready to be a wife, settle down, and build my life with a partner. Jaysha and I are putting in so much because I feel like I want to have the opportunity to have another baby. I'm kind of just open to building a more strong connection between the two of us. I'm like, I want a little baby. Like, I'm ready for a little baby.
And as long as you're doing what you need to do, everything will align and flow.
That's been my word for this process. Literally.
You gotta let it
gotta
flow.
get it flow. I'm like, did you say flow? I feel like it's hard for me to communicate how unhappy I would be in the future if Jaysha and I don't have a baby, because he's made it very clear that he wants me no matter what, and he wants to know that I feel the same way. And although I know we would have a beautiful life together, I can't say wholeheartedly that I would be extremely happy without having another child.
By the end of this process, do you think he's gonna propose?
Girl, I have no idea. And like, if we can't get this timing issue together, then it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Amazing as always.
Thank you, you as well. Hey,
what's up,
Ricky.
Doc? How you doing?
I am definitely excited to see Dr. Stacy because I feel like we had a lot of growth and was exposed as far as the closure that we needed. So it's a lot to kind of be excited about, but it's also a lot of mystery still in the air.
This week, I asked you to examine how family dynamics influence your current relationship. I wanted you to sit down with your family members and address some of these issues
Still in the air.
This week, I asked you to examine how family dynamics influence your current relationship. I wanted you to sit down with your family members and address some of these issues directly. So, Jasmine, why don't we start with you? Who did you meet with?
I met with my mom and my younger brother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom is a little weird sometimes.
What do you mean? What was she saying?
Whatever come on her.
Whatever she wants. And sometimes I have to remind her, like, you know, I'm in this relationship because they can't do no wrong. Like communication, oh, it's you, you're the problem. I'm controlling.
She's not the problem.
Exactly, but
Wait,
like,
what'd you say, Zay?
She's not the problem.
Look at you, Zay.
He's growing.
Did you hear what this man said?
I heard him, girl, but you know, we gotta stay here, so I'm gonna just hold it together. I just played
I love it. Zay, let me tell you something. For you to look over her without anything and say no, but it's not just you. That is you.
Just for you to say it, that's dope.
I'm learning.
Yeah, you are. All right, Zay, tell us about your first date with Kenyatta.
It was cool. I feel like we had just a similar connection. I come to find out she's a flight attendant.
Okay.
And I want to be a pilot, and I kind of keep my heads in the sky because it ain't no limit up there.
So there was some commonality there. So then you are talking to her. So what did you learn?
You know, that's just making me.
You're feeling something. Tell me. You know it's us. What?
It's uncomfortable.
It is.
Let's talk through it.
It's uncomfortable. She's a flight attendant.
So what does that mean, Jasmine?
That's his thing, Dr. Stacy. Like, that is his thing. Like, his whole thing is like being a pilot, being in the air. He's into that. And then free flight benefits. You know, I even had to tell him the other day. I Googled it. I said, look, they only sign up once a year. So you might have to date her for a year before she would even put you on.
What in the world
I
is
did.
going on?
I did.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
You figured it out.
I Googled it.
Back down, controlled black woman. Are you serious?
I did.
Yeah, that's that
I
control.
do understand I have controlling ways. I've admitted that to you, Dr. Stacy.
The more you push it that, the more you over here Googling and doing all that, the more he is going to censor himself. And you want him to communicate with you.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Zay, are you going to go out on another date with Kenyatta?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be more to
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Jasmine don't
Catherine
like
and
that.
Ricky. Now, I know your family dynamics have been a part of your relationship. So, Catherine, let's start with you.
I was really excited to see my family. My family actually does a really good job of holding me accountable. Even just having a conversation with my dad and just letting him know, like, a lot of my issues that I'm trying to, deal with and unpack kind of stem from that relationship and the lack thereof. And then now Ricky has to deal with that. And so I'm in the space now where I'm trying to change. I want to be a better woman. I want to be a better woman for myself.
You are being a better woman by being here, by showing up.
Yes.
You are being a better woman by being transparent and vulnerable. You are being a better woman by opening up and talking about your stuff. I want you to own the goodness that's happening around you with you pushing through into this other side of yourself, okay?
And I'm proud of where I am too.
Really happy that you even started the conversation with your father, and being honest with how it's still affecting you is huge to your relationship with Ricky.
Right.
Yeah. The best person you can be is a person that wants to change,
right?
But you still have to accept and be receptive to who the person is that you get right now. So, Joya, what was it like for you meeting up with family? What did Sis have to say? Did she ask about you wanting to have children?
So her number one thing was, how do you know you're ready? And when I told her, I'm like, girl, I have never been ready a day in my life. Before this relationship, I didn't want marriage. Not like I went from relationship to relationship and I'm like, oh, he's the one, I want to marry him.
Right.
I've never said those words a day in my life about anybody except this man right here.
Wow.
So she's like, I know you're ready.
I love it. I love it. You went on a first date with Luther.
Yes.
Give me all the details.
So we went to a really nice restaurant, and funny thing is, like, we ordered the exact same thing without talking, exact same drink. I was just like, this is kind of weird.
That's interesting.
And as we started talking, we had so much in common. He paints.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things he painted was a flamingo, and he said, that's my favorite bird. I said, no way, that's my favorite bird. Like,
girl, stop.
It was just so weird. I was like, a flamingo?
Hold on.
It was just funny.
Jasha's eye keep going to the top of his head.
Oh my God. We were just talking, and as we talked, I'm like, this is weird.
You
like,
know
we
what,
have
Jasha,
a lot in common.
stop that. Jasha is having a little reaction over here. More than any date you have ever had. What's really going on with you?
No, it's cool.
You cool?
No, that's what the process is for, right?
I have to say that because this is the only reaction I've seen from you with her having a good day, like really seriously, you're deflecting, you being funny.
I feel like he kind of just thought it was a joke, but like, dude, wake up. We're here to see if we're gonna get married or not. I want to be engaged and married and start a family as far as having a baby with him. But if we don't, I would be open to someone else.
Joya, will Luther be getting a second date?
Like he's at a space to really accommodate you with some of the things that you need.
It definitely feels good to see Marcus. It's just a great dynamic. It would be a great start to anything. So I'm gonna keep it cute. Enjoy myself too.
I want to take advantage of this opportunity to just say, hey, look, I see all of the gaps that need to be filled, and I can do that personally, effortlessly.
I'm great. Nice to meet you. I'm Jasmine.
I'm a hugger.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
I can feel the growth within you. You're acknowledging it, so that's always a good thing. So, you feel like a hug that's too far? Because you can hug a stranger.
So what do you do in Atlanta? What are you into?
I'm a real estate agent.
Soraya has a lot of the qualities like Joya. Same look, size, soft-spoken, and very beautiful.
Got a second go-around.
You did.
Because I felt as if we had a connection, I thought I'd do something special for you. It's a one of one. Alright?
All right, and there you have it with put a ring on it. So this time, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give a bit of a stock price. Not necessarily a stock price, but I'm gonna tell you what I feel about these people's stock as far as how they are invested in the process, how they are growing as a person, how they are being reasonable, in the relationship and courteous of their partner. So that's how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give them a stock price, not necessarily a ranking, but a stock price. Let me start with Zay and Jasmine. Okay. I think that they are making some progress. You know, you're always gonna have some people who will tempt you and show you your 20% of the the 80-20 rule, right? You always have people who will show you the 20% and you can get distracted by that. Zay got distracted by that with Kenyatta, and she's showing them that 20%. She's that flight attendant. She still can carry on the convo just like Jasmine can, but I kind of like how Zay is moving this week. He caught himself. He kind of corrected some things. He said, "That's my queen," and things like that. So I'm gonna say his stock is going up as far as him dealing with the process, and so he gets a point up. And I would say Jasmine, she's been pretty reasonable, pretty fair, but I can't really necessarily say her stock should go up. I'm gonna say I'm a hold on Jasmine. She's not better or worse this week. She's just at a hold. And, she still got to work on her controlling things. And I don't think she liked the fact that he liked this stewardess. I get it. But, it's not enough to take her stock price down. I'm going to just hold on Jasmine this week. As far as, let's do Ricky and let's do Jasha and Joya. As far as Joya, I don't know. I kind of felt I'm gonna have to give her stock price a minus. So she went down as far as stock price, and the reason why is because she's being a little contradictory. She went all in on Jasha, but at the same time she was acting all flirty with this new guy and just kind of probably doing some stuff, not physically, but doing some stuff mentally that she probably wouldn't have been proud that if Jasha was doing this sex talk and all this other stuff. I mean, it's like you're being a little, I don't want to say two-faced, but and you're very uncompromising with what you're asking for. You want a marriage and you want a baby, and it seemed like the men are interchangeable to you. But let me know something, ladies. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Is men interchangeable? Can you just change them out if you're trying to get what you want? Do you find men to be interchangeable? They're just utilities that can be replaced. Put that in the comments if you feel like men are interchangeable and it doesn't really matter as long as they give you what you want, which is marriage and the kids. I'd be interested to know, does the man who giving you that stuff matter or not? As far as Jasha, I'm gonna have to give him his stock price up. I'm gonna have to say he went up a point because he was respectful of Joya. He did not continue his date with Brittany, and he's been calm, cool, collected about the whole thing. He tried to explain things in the car. So I think Jasha's stock went up. I think Joya's went down, and there you have it from them. As far as Catherine and Ricky, this week I'm so freaking proud of Catherine. I'm so freaking proud of her and the progress she's making, and so I'm going to give her 2 points stock price up. Okay, one for herself and one for this relationship. I see her going 10 toes down for this situation and this relationship. you know, and she's being vulnerable and she's being open and she's, you know, owning her stuff and she's doing all the necessary stuff needed to really, you know, get the best results out of this relationship. As far as Ricky, what would y'all give Ricky? Right now, I'm thinking that this guy, I'm gonna say I'm a hold on Ricky right now. I want to give him a point down, but I can't really necessarily give him a point down because he didn't necessarily do anything wrong. But I just need some more out of him. I need more effort out of Ricky, and I need him to really even just grow for himself. Okay, he's just not. He don't know what to do, and it looked like he don't know how to put in the effort to do it. He's just a victim of everything that's happening around him. I'm gonna need him to take some more accountability, stand 10 toes down, and get to work. You know, roll up his sleeves and get to work. You know, and do the self work that he has to do. So I give Catherine 2 points up in our stock price, and I'm a hold on Ricky because I'm not really seeing much, you know, much effort in him correcting anything. So to recap, Zay and Jasmine, Zay got a point up. Jazz, I'm holding. Joy and Jasha got a point up. Joya got a point down on her stock price. And Catherine and Ricky, Catherine got 2 points up and Ricky got a hold, very close to going down if you're following the charts. But there you have it. Y'all put in the comments, what do y'all think? Would y'all give them different scores, different stock prices? Let me know. Also answer the question, are men interchangeable? I'd just be curious to know. Doesn't matter what man you got, as long as you get what you want out of that situation. Put that in the comments. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. It's been fun. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.